Welcome to the Time for Heroes podcast.
Hello, I'm Brad for the Castros, and you're listening to Time for Heroes podcast.
Brad from the Castros, Fife's finest. Going to get into all your career. You've been going for late 2022 and you're just getting to the point now this year where everything is just kind of turning. Everything's looking up off the back of a tour and just after releasing an EP, stuff like that. So we're going to get into that, but what I like to do is get right back to the start.
Mm-hmm.
What life was like for a young Brad growing up.
Oh, right, okay. Just pretty box standard, man. I thought I was going to be a footballer, and obviously when I was a wee lad and that. Just the usual stuff. I never got into music till like later on. I was about 17 when I got my first guitar.
Right.
So it was a wee bit later than all my pals. All my pals could play guitar and they were all playing at the parties and that, and I got a wee bit jealous. I was like, nah, screw this, man. I'm gonna go and get one myself and be better than them all. So that's what I tried to do anyway. Some might argue that they're better than me still to this day, but I don't pride myself on my guitar playing anyway, so that's all right. In terms of bands and all that, this is the first band I've ever been in.
Right.
I wasn't in bands when I was younger or anything like that. I didn't even take music at school, to be honest. As I said, I was a total late bloomer. I got obsessed with Oasis, as you could probably tell, and that was it. Noel Gallagher was my absolute idol, and I went and learned every single Oasis song you could on guitar as soon as I got one. Funny story, actually, I was on holiday in Thailand when I got my first guitar and I had to bring it back in my hand luggage. So I was sat there on the plane with a big massive guitar just sitting like at my feet because they didn't have room for it, and it was hilarious. But yeah, man.
And obviously, like touching on Fitba then, are you a heavy?
I'm a heavy, aye. How did you know that?
Obviously, I tell you, I've been right through the Instagram. There was just one wee picture. Obviously, I'm a Celtic fan, so a wee bit of fucking mixed feelings today after the result.
It's a catch-22, and it's sort of like you don't want to get beat, but if there was ever a time to get beat by yous, it would be now, like, because we can't have Hearts on league, can we? Oh, no.
Well, I mean, I was fucking sitting, fucking shitting it at the end, man. I thought you were going to sneak an equaliser, man.
Aye.
Watching it.
I think every Hibs fan would have been in the same boat, to be honest. Please didn't score. Please didn't.
So obviously, on like the music side, then like you touched on kind of getting into music, like Oasis was your kind of first influence. Obviously, like I was looking, you have done a playlist, the band playlist, your own stuff and influences. Which obviously there's Oasis, Arctic Monkeys, varied selection. Obviously, for me, seeing you live, there's one band that isn't in that playlist. Kasabian. What's your thoughts on them?
They are one of my favourite bands ever. I've actually got, so this is a wee sidetrack, but I've got all my tattoos are music related, and the first tattoo I ever got, I don't know if you'll be able to see it actually, is Easy.
Right.
That's Kasabian, the 4813 album. Yeah, they're one of my favourite bands ever. So for you to say that, I mean, we've had it before, but I appreciate that a lot because, they're a great band to base yourself off. So if we're doing that, then we're doing something right, you know what I mean?
Well, particularly yourself, for seeing you that time, I wish I had somebody with me, because this frontman is like the fucking closest thing I've seen to Tom Meighan ever, man. Honestly, man,
that's a massive compliment, mate. Thank you.
Presence, energy, the ability to fucking sing, man. Everything's there, man. That's what I mean. That's why I'm fucking bigging you up, man. I'll need to tone it down because you'll not be able to leave the house tomorrow. It was just. I just noticed when I was looking through that kind of playlist, and I thought, I wonder if you don't like Kasabian.
No, we do.
I'm going to offend them once I fucking say, but
no, definitely. I'm surprised it's not in that playlist. To be honest, I mustn't have had much to do with that playlist because I definitely would have had them in there. I could name you every song for every album. I absolutely adore Kasabian. Man.
So I mean, touching like going back to the start. 2022 of October, you played your first gig.
Yeah, Corn Exchange in Cooper.
So how was that then? Like, kind of for you, just kind of getting into music at 17. Then, like, how quick then to be kind of like, fuck this, man, and looking about, and you get four guys on about you, and you're on stage ready to sing to an audience.
Well,
How does that feel?
so of course, like, I don't know that 2022. Like I was, well, how old? I would have been 24. That was a few days before my 25th birthday. That first gig. So you're talking like from me getting into music and me actually doing our first gig as a band, and not my first gig ever, because I'll get into that. But like, yeah, you're talking like 7 years. So I wasn't confident enough to be like anywhere near a band or anywhere near any other musicians. I was just a bedroom singer. You know what I mean? Playing covers. And then when I turned about 2021, I was like, right, I want to step up a little bit, and start writing my own stuff. So that's what I done. In the 90s was one of the first tunes I ever wrote, and I remember playing it to my friend Dylan and his family at a sort of family do just at the house, and I played it to them, and they were all just sat there like, "You didn't write that," like, you know what I mean? It was kind of one of those ones that like, where did that come from? And I was like, I don't know. I was just like sort of been playing about with it. So yeah, and then that went on. I kept writing songs, and then eventually I was like, you know what, I'm going to do a gig. That's my target for this year, and that was 2022. I'd been speaking to Kyle and John from the band for a couple of months, and they weren't. John was away doing his barbering course down in Sunderland, so he wasn't really up for getting a band together at that time when I was pining for it. We'd spoken. It was just sort of things weren't matching up. We weren't like, or we weren't available at the same time and stuff like that. And I'm quite impulsive and quite impatient, so I was just like, I'm just gonna go and do it. So I went and done my first solo gig just with an acoustic guitar. And John and Kyle, this was a few months later, John and Kyle ended up coming to the gig. And after the gig, that was when they're like, right, let's do this. Let's get a band together. And that was it. And then fast forward to the 22nd October, like you're saying, that was our first gig. Our first ever rehearsal was in August 22. So that was 2 months prior to the gig. And we rehearsed The Boys. We done The Boys, which is one of our singles that we released. Yeah, and then we got 6 tunes together, and then we were like, let's get a band. Let's get a gig, sorry. Let's get a gig together. And that was it.
So looking at the band then, so obviously John and Kyle, were you all at school together or what? How did you meet?
So me and Kyle, we went to primary school and high school together. We grew up, we've known each other since we were 4-year-old. John was the year below us in high school. So that's how I knew them two. And obviously I don't think they actually knew that I was like sort of into music as much as they thought. You know what I mean? Like, it was kind of, I was like, I didn't really tell a lot of people. Obviously people knew I was into music and like going to gigs and stuff like that, but I don't think they knew that I was writing songs and stuff. So yeah, once that became a topic, it was like, right. And then we all had common ground, and then we're like, right, okay, let's do this. And then Aidan, the other guitarist, he was brought in by John. John knew him and his brother, so he was a good addition. And then Aidan was who brought in Sean, the drummer. He's the only one that didn't actually go to our school, Community High School in Glenoffice. John's from Methil, so he went to Buckhaven. He's a couple of years older than me and Kyle. John's the year below me and Kyle, and Aidan's actually 5 years younger. He's the youngest. He's only 23 now.
Right. So, I mean, like getting that lineup, and obviously, like 2022, we're into 2026, so it's a stable lineup. You have went that full journey together. How does the band dynamic work when it comes to kind of writing and stuff? How do you look at that?
We all like bring our piece to the table. Like, it's different every time. It's really interesting, because I feel like a lot of bands do have like their formula, whereas we couldn't really pinpoint what our formula is. We just sort of, sometimes we're just at rehearsal and someone plays a riff and we're like, oh, that's good. Like in the early days, I had a backlog of tunes that I gave to the band, and then they made it into what they are. That still happens, but there's a lot more like group writing sessions that go on now. I do a lot of the lyrics, but everyone chimes in with the lyrics, and sometimes the songs that I bring are missing a part, or missing like a a vocal melody in the chorus that they bring, and then it's just like, oh, that's the song. There we go. That's the hook, you know. So it's very, very equal, and it's a good dynamic to have because there's a lot of bands out there that it's like the singer, the writer is everything, and they're viewed as like a sort of dictator or whatever, you know.
Yeah. I mean, you can see even as I say, if you're looking through your Instagram today, promoting like when you do your promo videos, everybody takes their turn. So like it's not just one person's the face of the band. You
Yeah.
guys have all got your own character, and I think you can tell as well from the kind of the back catalogue of singles because every song has got a different twist to it as well.
Yeah.
You couldn't kind of pinpoint a Castros sound other than just defining it as chaos once you come and see it live.
We're still looking for a word. We're still looking for a word to describe the genre of the Castros because we don't like to put ourselves in that bracket of like just a typical indie band because we're not, and that's not big-headed of me to say. Is that we aren't that. We're not just an indie band, you know. So if you could conjure up a word to describe it, we could start using it.
And obviously coming from Fife, PJ Malloy's massive venue. The Fife music scene in general, obviously, we've had the Shambolics recently, and Dove, obviously, what a voice that boy's got. But even before that, I mean, I can mind probably, I'm talking like fucking Apple Scruffs and all that came from Glasgow, High Five Alive, but there was a band, I think Tango in the Attic, I'm pretty sure they were for Fife way. I don't know if you're aware of them.
I'm not entirely. No, I've not heard of them. No.
Because there was one of your songs that sounds just like Tango in the Attic. It's dead kind
All right, okay. I'll need to check them out.
I think they defined themselves as tropical indie or something like that. Anyway,
All right, okay.
you're talking probably the early noughties. You had Apple Scruffs that became Johnny Skinner. I don't know if you've heard of him as well, Johnny Skinner. I talked about him a lot when I spoke to Dove because similar voices. But Tango in the Attic. If you don't know them, you need to check them out.
Yeah, definitely. I love it. Yeah.
So Shambolics, Dove, and another for Fife, Callum Trainer. Obviously, no a performer, but he does a lot.
Yeah,
the
top guy,
scene.
man.
So, what do you think of the Fife music scene, and how important do you think these kind of figures are within it?
Oh, I mean, I think the Fife music scene's underrated to like the rest of Scotland. Like people looking in, I think if you were in amongst it, you would understand how many great bands and artists there actually is. Like the list is endless. Like you said, the Shambolics, that Dove. You've got Rosie Alice, you've got TA, you've got you've got Sargent, who are cult heroes. You know, they're from the same wee village as me, Mark Inch. Like we looked up to them. You know what I mean? And then they made the comeback, and then we got to support them last year.
Yeah.
I mean, the list really is endless. There's so many great bands for Fife.
Everybody comes through PJs. Everybody.
Yeah.
And there's lots of big bands come and play PJs as well. So
yeah. Absolutely.
I think that helps put it on the map.
That's yeah. If you play PJs and you do well, like ticket wise and stuff like that, in Fife, like that's a big deal. You know, like that's a stepping stone into the rest of Scotland, in my opinion. That's the venue you want to play. If you're from Fife and you are aspiring to be a musician, that's where you want to play. It's PJ Malloy's, definitely. And Johnny's great, Callum's great as well. The whole team at PJ's, they're very supportive, and they help you with everything. It's great.
I've known Callum for the start of the View, for just seeing him at gigs and things like that, and then I bumped into him, I don't know, 6-7 years ago. He put on a gig in Glasgow for the Paddingtons coming back, and Dove supported that night. Kind of same sort of story as when I seen yous. I had never seen Dove. Absolutely blew me away. And they had they two twins as well, Twinstown. They were there as well.
Oh yeah.
They boys are mental, man. Absolute fucking mental. They two. They were kicking about. So obviously the first gig 2022 and into 2023, a good kind of start to everything. PJ Malloy's supporting Mickey Nines, local headline in Pinkertons. Supported a cover band, Stereotonics. A few more supports, another support in PJ's, a wee Edinburgh gig, headline in McHugh's, and then your King Tut's debut. All of this, and then in June. Early June you release Switch Lanes, the June you release Sunrise. So I kind of a whirlwind 6 months really.
Yeah.
All the gigs, kind of honing your kind of stagecraft, I'm assuming, and then King Tuts, and then 2 single releases. So thoughts on all of that?
We decided to go in with a bang. You know what I mean? After the first gig, I actually went away. I don't know if you know this or not, but I went away traveling for 3 months. So I left at the start of December, and I came back in the middle of February or something. So like there wasn't really much going on like during those 3 months. The boys were getting together and they were writing and stuff like that. But obviously we didn't have any gigs or we weren't rehearsing and stuff like that. So made a point when I came back, like we were just going to go for it. So yeah, we took on as many gigs as we could. I mean, some were all right, some were great. Like the Pinkertons gig that was crazy. That's like a local pub in Glenrothes, and like when we get #1 album, we'll be taking the trophy back to Pinkertons. You know, it's that sort of place. Like, but yeah, that was just that. It was a mental night, and that was the first night we sort of realised like people are interested. People are actually enjoying this, what we're doing. And at that point, we'd only been a band for 6 months, and we played a 15-song set. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, where are you getting 15 songs in that 6 months? And that's me.
That's what I'm saying. That we had such a major like backlog of just tunes like that we just churned out tune after tune after tune. That's what, and that was another that helped us as well in terms of like people were looking at us going, what? That helped the hype. You know what I mean? Like people are coming to a gig. This band have only been together 6 months. They've got 15 tunes that they're able to play to us live. Like people were like, "All right, okay, this is serious." And then we go on to do the McHughes show that was in Dunfermline. Sold that out in days. That was like an absolute sweat fest. That was the first time people realised how mental they could go at our gigs. And then it just took on for there. King Tut's again. It was a showcase, so it was like whoever sold the most tickets got to headline. So we were like, let's go. Absolutely boomed it. Absolutely smashed it at the park. Got to headline it. And then that was it. It just kept snowballing from there. Released our singles. Switch Lanes done unbelievable in the first week. I think it was everywhere. Folk were listening to it. It was amazing. It was just amazing. Yeah. So it just kept going.
Well, this is it. So obviously, I mentioned off mic. I was talking about bands that I kind of hold you in the kind of same esteem. And one of them was the High Flats. Obviously, the High Flats, I managed them for about a year. I know the guitarist, and I chucked them last year because I thought they weren't taking it seriously. And since I've kind of left, they've got their head in the game. But that was kind of my thoughts. And their first time playing King Tuts, it was the same. See who sells the most tickets headlines, and they fucking blew it away. Headlined it first time playing King Tuts. It is absolute. It's some buzz for any Scottish band to go there and fucking sell that out.
That's the dream.
And see when you do that so early, what do you think then? Because once you're sold at King Tuts, obviously you're at that right where you must have targets everywhere else. Which I mean, even like looking through this, you're ticking them off anyway.
Yeah. Like we got because that obviously selling at King Tut's was the bit that we didn't think we were going to get much better than that. Like that was the one. That was great. Obviously we'd played the Barrowlands before that, the year before. So that was nuts. Like that was a dream come true. But selling out King Tut's, our own gig, getting that bottle of whiskey with the Castros on it and all that was something special. But then you just look for the next target, and then we went on tour with Spiral Carpets. That was sort of like, what is going on here? Like in the space of 3 months, we played King Tut's, and then we were on tour with Spiral Carpets, like Manchester legends who are like pals with Stone Roses, Happy Mondays, and all that. I was just like, this is mental.
Well, I mean, that was a few years later. I mean, even if you look at the second half of the 2023, another single released in the 90s, which obviously you've had that in the fucking bag for so long.
4 years before we released it.
Yeah, and then a headline in Sticks, Sold Out, and then you play back to PJ Malloy's supporting the K's. Like looking through, like the K's is probably the first band that you supported there that kind of sticks out as me, because obviously kind of similar kind of grounding as yourself. So like getting a support with a band similar to yourself, how does that feel? Does that make you feel as if you're going in the right direction, you're getting noticed?
Yeah, like in particular for me, the K's were in my playlist from like years ago, like when I was young, and like I used to listen to a lot of up and coming bands, and they were one of the ones that I sort of like latched onto. It was like them and the Ratings sort of thing, and I was like, the offer came out of nowhere. It wasn't like, I don't even know if we were aware that the gig was on, but we got the email with the offer, and I was just like, the K's. That's big. Like that's mental. Like I followed them for years, and they've gotten to a big point, and now they're like, they're on their way to.
Yeah.
Like they were at the time, I think they were just, it was just before their debut album came out.
Mm-hmm.
They were an established band. Yeah, that was a good feeling, and the gig was great.
Yeah, K's gigs are brilliant anyway, but adding you into the mix.
Yeah. Oh, we got a lot of fans that night.
But the next release, obviously, when I seen yous in King Tuts, blew me away with this song. The stagecraft, everything, getting the crowd involved, draw the line. So it is like my all-time favourite. And then clicking through, when's it released? September the 9th, which is my birthday.
There you go.
So the only thing that annoys me is that I didn't know yous at the time, because that would have... So, draw the line, man. How did that come about? Because genuinely, like, when did you decide throughout the song that you would get the crowd involved? Has that always been the case, or has that been a recent thing?
No, I can't actually pinpoint the exact. It wasn't like when we wrote the song and we started playing it live. That wasn't the intention. But I think it was Sean. I think it was Sean, the drummer. He had mentioned about like during that breakdown stage, like get them down, get them doing something. They might kill me for this because it might not have been Sean. It might have been one of the other ones. It wasn't my idea anyway. It was one of the boys. So I'll give them credit, whoever it was. But I'm pretty sure it was Sean. He had said you need to get them doing something. You need to get them doing something, and during that breakdown, I was like, right, okay, and we sort of decided like get them kneeling down, and then it was just like da 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 da, and then it just creates some sort of manic, and yet the interaction alone, someone telling you to do something, it kind of pisses. Am I allowed to swear on this, or is
yes,
it?
mate.
I wasn't sure, but it pisses you off, but you still do it, and it's just like, why is this guy telling me to do it? But it's annoying me that I'm listening to him. Why is this happening? And then they're all lowering down, and you're just like, oh, this is fucking. And then that's it. They just erupt, and every single gig, it doesn't matter what the crowd are doing before the whole set. It doesn't matter what they're doing. As soon as we do that, the crowd changes every single time. If they've never seen us before and they weren't really that into it, as soon as Draw the Line finishes, that's it. They're hooked. They're in, like that. You know?
Yeah. Well, I mean, I have my theory about the full interaction the crowd can do, because towards the end of that year, December, he supported the La Fontaines. So La Fontaines, I'm good pals with Jamie, the drummer.
Great guy.
Obviously, he's out in Bilbao now. He's getting me a keyring. He's getting me a Bilbao keyring. He's supporting Edwin Collins for his new band.
Oh, I've seen that actually. Yeah, the Glass Checks.
So I've seen La Fontaines everywhere, and it's the only other gig where we get done like that. So I don't know if you've seen them do that, and it's an idea you've took, or whether it's subliminally rubbed off on you. But
no, we were doing it. We were doing it before we supported them.
Because I mean, so if I came to see you at that gig, La Fontaine's and yourself, we'd probably just fucking been as well sitting the flare the full night. So
people started bringing chairs to our gigs, just anticipating Draw the Line.
So and just before that, obviously, just before the La Fontaine's gig, you played Broadcast in the November, Broadcast Glasgow, which was a This Feeling show. I always like to talk about This Feeling. You played a couple of gigs. I think the following year you played Sneaky Pete's.
Sneaky Pete's for them, yeah.
So, what's your thoughts on this feeling? How helpful do you think the guys are?
They are. I actually wish we had a wee bit more involvement with this feeling, to be honest. In recent years, we've not really done a lot with them, but especially in our early days, they did. They helped us out. Like we were dealing with a guy called George, and he was really good with us. Yeah, he set us up. But I mean, I think he was the one that put us in contact with the Lilacs eventually, which that's a good connection to have. Like we love those boys. They're good lads. But yeah, this feeling that they're definitely for the up and coming artists, 100%. Like, even if it's not directly involved with us anymore, you know what I mean. It's still great to see. It's good for other bands and that as well. So yeah, I would definitely say that you need to keep them alive, keep them going. Like,
yeah, I think any band that's had some sort of involvement in this feeling, it kind of it sets them up. It helps.
Yeah.
Like that. That's what I always talk about with the High Flats. I keep saying to them, you need to get involved with this feeling. You need to have that on your CV, because people look at that and say, right, well, they must be good if this feeling's had them on.
It's the industry's so saturated though, man. That's the thing with it. This feeling can't handle everybody. You know what I mean? So some people feel left out. Some people like it's just one of those things. But if you hound them enough, you do eventually get in the door. Like
24 then started the year off. Couple of support gigs with a band Sunburn, and then
the Irish,
and then PJ Malloy's support in Shambolics. It's a big gig for Shambolics, big gig for yourself, getting to support them. How do you get on with they boys?
I've known that. So they're for Kirkcaldy, which is just the next town across from Glenoffice. Yeah, I've known them since they started. I followed them since I was a fanboy. Yeah. I couldn't tell you how many Shams gigs I've been to. It's definitely at least 15. I was there every chance I could. Kirkcaldy, Dunfermline, Glasgow, Edinburgh. Yeah, I went, seen them everywhere.
Yeah, brilliant live band.
Yeah.
Really, 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 really good.
Yeah, man.
And then a few months later, you supported Dove in the Windsor in Kirkcaldy.
Yeah.
So, and straight after that, you done the La Sierra showcase, which I don't know why I never went to that, because I think I was going to take care for the band to that.
And Room 2?
Aye.
Yeah.
Was that your first involvement with La Sierra? Because obviously later on, you went to the camp.
So I went to the camp myself, October 23.
Right.
It was the Youth Martin camp. Obviously he produced like Bittersweet Symphony and all that. Urban Hymns, the album. He was just a really cool guy, man. But that was my first taste of La Sierra Casa. I've been 3 times. The band have been twice.
Right.
So that first time I went myself, and that's how we got into that the showcase, because obviously I'd been there. So I'd said, "Oh, listen, we'll play it." I think we headlined it. We did.
Aye. So I mean, so what made you go there? Like, what made you go to the camps in the first place? Did you just
Kyle Falconer's my biggest influence in terms of like what I aspired to be like. You know what I mean? The View. That's funny because we were talking about influences earlier. That the View weren't mentioned, because like
I think you kind of take it as a given, didn't you, with the View?
Aye,
Any
definitely.
young Scottish band must kind of have some.
Aye, but like I am View through and through. Like I absolutely adore the View. Not I'm a total fanboy or that, blah, blah, blah. But yeah, so that was the reason. My girlfriend actually got me the La Sierra Casa for my birthday. Right. She paid for it, and I got to go. So obviously, meeting Kyle Falconer and that, I was kind of like shitting my pants, to be honest. But yeah, it was good, man. Yeah, it's great. Again, it's another place that's flourished a lot since I first went. It's gotten bigger and better, and it's amazing. It's an amazing opportunity for up and coming artists again to write with some of their heroes. For one, meet other connections, like networking, writing with other musicians that you've never met before, you've never heard before. It's brilliant.
Well, one of the guys that kind of produces a lot of your singles now is Chris Evans. I'm right in saying that you met
again
last year.
Yeah, aye. That's where we met Chris. Just an unbelievable producer. So we're sort of split with our producers now as well. Scott Thompson is our other producer, he's in the Shambolics in a band called Cheap Escape as well. So we use them both now. That contrast is fantastic with them both. So, yeah, man, it's great.
So after the last year showcase, yeah, you released The Boys. Again, you kind of touched on that, so that been kicking about for a bit. Then you did a couple of festivals, one down south in Norwich, and then you came back and had the Liquid Rooms supporting the Inspiral Carpets.
Yeah.
Obviously later on then, you go on full tour support with Inspiral. So playing that first gig with them, obviously you must have made an impression on them for them to kind of have you back on the tour. So what was it like, and how did you feel the connection went?
So obviously when we walked in, they were doing their sound check and all that, and we were all just sort of like, I don't like to say the word starstruck because we not quite, but it was kind of like, this is mental that we've got ourselves here. Like, how have we managed this? Like, you're talking 2 years prior, we playing at our local pub, you know what I mean? And now we're doing a gig with Inspiral Carpets. It was just absolutely mental. Like, just even seeing Clint Boone's organ, you know what I mean? It's just like, is that what it is he plays? Or his keys or whatever it is. It's an organ, isn't it? But it was just like, aye, something like that. I'm not really good with the old instruments. I'll leave that to the rest of them. But yeah, it was surreal. Like, it really was. That was the first time we were like, whoa, this is cool. But yeah, man. And then after, like, we done our sound check and they were away. I don't know what they maybe were getting food or sitting up in their band room or whatever. So we didn't really see them much before the gig. So we done our set, went into the crowd and folk were like saying, "Oh, you were brilliant," blah blah blah. And then we stayed for their set, and then it was afterwards that they invited us up to the band room, and we were sat up there like having beers and all that. And I think what they liked about us was the fact that we weren't trying to be anything. We were just happy to be there, and I think they liked that about us. And they obviously had seen the reception that we got, from their crowd, so they knew that we were probably going to be a good fit, especially in Scotland.
Yeah.
So yeah, it must have. We did make a good impression because they had us back.
And then after that, you went to last year. Is this when the full band went? When Carol?
Yeah, all five of us went. Yeah, Carol Barrett camp. Oh, yeah, boy.
what camp to go to, man? I was obviously the name of the podcast, Time for Heroes. So they were my heroes. It was the Libertines and then the View for me.
Yeah. Again, they're another massive influence. We'll probably, the names of bands will just probably keep coming as we keep talking because you know it's hard to remember them all. But Libertines are.
And the worst thing, as obviously we mentioned Callum Trainor, man. Fucking every other week, Callum Trainor was getting his picture taken with these guys, man.
Nice.
He just fucks off down to Margate and I'm just going to bump into Carol this week. It's absolute fucking Jamie, a guy.
Yeah, man.
Both of them actually, Callum and Carol. So how was it kind of going to that camp? Did you get any kind of one-on-one?
Yeah. We actually wrote a tune with him and Kyle Falconer. We had a session with them both. And it's an absolute topper, to be fair. I think that will be coming out at some point. We would still need to sort of refine a few things and stuff like that. But the guy, Carl, he's a genius. You know what I mean? But he's a really down to earth guy as well. Not that anyone said any different, but like we got first hand. Like he's just a normal geezer. And I'm like, you're in one of the coolest bands that's ever came out of the UK. Like, you don't have to be nice. Do you know what I mean? Like, you could be a dick and I wouldn't care. I'd still be slavering all over you. But yeah, he was just sound. Really, really down to earth guy.
Yeah, totally, man. I can't get, obviously, as I say, the name of the podcast, I've never been able to get any of the Libertines on. I had a podcast before this. I had a podcast called before this one called Typical Time Podcast, and it was all about the View.
All right.
And I never had any of the View on it. I couldn't get them on.
Did you not?
And then I started this, and I've had Pete, Kieran, and Kyle. So
brilliant.
Maybe if I change my podcast,
call it the
90s. Yeah, I mean, on this I've had Carol Barrett's sister, I've had Pete's sister, I've had Pete's son. I've had lots of connections, but no, I can't get the band. Every other week, I'm at Pete Docherty's manager trying to get me to come on, but it never seems to be the right time.
I can imagine they're quite busy. Like,
see, the thing is, so see if I got them on, especially Pete, I don't know if I'd be able to interview him. I think I would be lost for words.
aye.
When I interviewed Tom Meighan, at the end there, I told him I loved him, and I kept it in the edit in the end as well. So, total fanboy. So when you're talking about fanboy, I'm a total fanboy as well.
Aye.
Ended that year playing PJ Malloy's, Sold Out, had the Lilacs supporting you.
Yeah, man.
And then into the start of 2025, you released 50 Pence, which is what that was one of the songs wrote at the songwriting camp, I believe. Is that?
Yeah. We wrote that. I was wearing one flip flop and John was wearing the other, and we sat and wrote that poolside in the sun. It was magic, like.
And then King Tut's supporting Sergeant.
Yeah.
Headlines. I mean, see now when I'm looking at your headlines for now on, everything's sold out. It's like every time you play a gig, you're selling it. So that's when you can see the progression. And then you released Psycho Killer, cover of Talking Heads. So, brilliant song, absolute amazing song. I mentioned the 5 bands that I was telling you about. The only other band that I've heard cover Psycho Killer is Pastel, and it's the Pastel version is amazing. Then listening to that, the exact same. Different styles, used 2 young bands have both nailed it. And
yeah.
I'd probably say that both versions might be better than the original.
Well, there is mixed reviews even amongst the band members, but I think so. Because every time I listen to the original, I'm just like, this is slow, man. Speed it up a bit. You know what I mean? Because we make it so like in your face. You know what I mean? And then I listened to the original, I was like, I don't remember us like making it that much more lively. I thought it was like the same tempo and sort of stuff like that, but I'm like, nah, it's definitely not.
And then that's followed up by your first EP, Articulate Your
Yes.
Madness. Articulate Your Madness. I mean, that might be kind of the Castros mantra, because obviously Articulate Your Madness is a line and Sunrise.
Yeah.
So you've got it for there. Then a couple of years down the line, released an EP with that, and then a year after that, you've done your Articulate Your Madness tour that you've just come off the back of. So that is the fucking Castros mantra then right there, Articulate Your Madness. How did that feel, kind of putting an actual body of work out there, releasing it on vinyl? How does that feel then as a musician to kind of get your stuff physically out there?
Oh, it was a great feeling. That was a very like proud moment for us all to get, especially on vinyl, man. And I feel like obviously with today it's all streams and all that sort of stuff. So we wanted to make a point of like putting vinyl out as our first ever sort of like body of work, as you said. And it was unbelievable. The response was crazy for a wee band. We pay for everything ourselves, man. We're not asking it. We've not got any funding. We don't ask anybody for money or anything like that. It's just all like either our own money or money that we've made from gigs, like, or other merch and stuff like that, and we put it all in.
Yeah.
So yeah, man, it was a great feeling, to get it out.
It looks beautiful as well. The artwork. I mean, the
Yeah,
artwork,
man.
Work on all your stuff is brilliant, but
Aaron Andrews, his name.
I mean, the artwork on Articulate Your Madness specifically, it kind of looks, for a distance, it looks like Hats Off to the Buskers, The View, but like a colourful one.
Yeah.
So that's my thoughts on it anyway. So is there any of them still available?
The vinyl? Yeah.
Because I've been looking for one of them.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Yeah. Definitely.
And then after that, you released that, and then you done Sold Out King Tuts again. You played Aloha Amplified. On the bill on that was Tonto, another of this famous 5 bands that I keep talking about. Then came the Inspiro's tour, and then signed off again that year, headlining PJs again. Sold Out as usual. And then that takes us into this year. Obviously, started off the year down in Hull, supporting the Lilacs, kind of paying them back for the support they gave you the year before. and then your latest single release, Subtle Gestures, and then that leads us into this Articulate Your Madness tour. So, looking at what you've done, did you have this tour lined up before Kyle approached you about the Tuts gig?
It was all sort of at the same time. So when we were getting the tour, it was mental, to be honest. We'd been speaking about the tour for quite a while, and we were like, it's time, man. Let's do it. Hosed, our manager, he had been sorting out the gigs in Scotland, and I was doing the ones in England. So I'd been in contact with a connection that I've got in Manchester, and we got that gig. And then I spoke to this woman called Debbie Cooper, who is a very good person to know, by the way. And she sorted this out with the London gig, the Liverpool gig. And whilst all this was going on, we got I got a phone call for Kyle's manager, and he was like, "Oh, you want to support Kyle at King Tut's?" I was like, "What's the date?" And it was right on so we actually had a gig booked for that date that we were meant to be supporting Kyle, but we just said, like, right, well, we'll just have to pan that off and go support Kyle, because that's probably more beneficial for us. So we went and done that. Yeah, it was weird how it all just sort of came together. And then because it was with DF, we couldn't announce it until they had signed off on us announcing it, basically. So even though it was sold out, it wouldn't matter, but like we couldn't announce it. So I don't know if you noticed on the poster.
On the socials, you just had the question mark.
The question mark. And the amount of people that were asking, what is that fucking question mark? Honestly, folk were going mental. We can't tell you. Just wait. It was great, though. It was funny. I knew people would react to it. I knew it. It was brilliant.
And have you noticed, like, would you say, like, that's your biggest gig to date because of who you're supporting? Obviously, gone before, like the Lilacs, the K's, and Spiral Carpets, but do you think somebody like him is just kind of maybe tops it for you at that stage?
I mean, I don't know. I think, like, maybe on personal levels, yeah, because of who he is, it's Kyle for the View. Like, looking up to him, like, since as long as I can remember, like, it was a major moment for me. I still struggle to speak to Kyle because I'm that like worried that he's not going to like me or something like that. Like, because I'm such a massive like fan of the View, but like. So yeah, for me personally, it was a big moment. But I would say that, like, the Inspirals tour was our biggest sort of gigs, like, so far, and selling out King Tuts ourselves and the Barrowlands. You know, they're all up there, and they all fluctuate, like, in their positions of how important they were in our career. Like, I would say definitely.
Right. So I mean that's us kind of went right through your career. What is coming up next? What have we got to look forward to? I've got info here, but I'd like to hear it for your mouth.
So we've just announced our biggest headliner to date, at Liquid Drums on the 26th of September. So that's going to be mega. I mean, they sold out the pre-sale on Thursday, and then we've not actually had an update on the tickets when they went live on Friday for the general sale, but we've done well. Like, we're doing well. I think it's 650, 700 cap or something like that. And I've got no doubt in my mind that we'll sell it out. And that's the biggest step that we've ever taken, because obviously we've done King Tut's last year, PJ's the same, like 3 months later. Them combined are 600 tickets, but some of the same people would have been at King Tut's that they were at PJ Malloy's. So you're really talking, say we played to 400 people over those two headliners in total. It's still a 300 person step up. And it's going to be madness. That's going to put us on the map, in my opinion.
Yeah, I'm here for that. Is any plans for, like, anything this side of the country, Glasgow?
Not as of yet. I'll leave it there for the time being.
So it's just because I don't know whether to come to this Liquid Room ones or not. I'm going to end up buying a Liquid Room ticket, and then you're going to sting me later on, aren't you?
Well, all I'll say is that our only headliner of the year right now is Liquid Drums.
Okay. And
the main focus is Liquid Drums, and I would advise all of our fans to come to that gig, because that's the one that's going to be special. We're going to up our game on every level.
When is that? 26th of September. Do you know?
26th of September.
Man. Do you know what day it is?
Saturday.
Oh, right. We're cutting then.
Cutting with gas.
I can do a Saturday in Edinburgh. I just noticed as well, it came up on the your Instagram, the chat room, and somebody said you were looking for suggestions for support bands, and somebody, no me, had wrote the High Flats, so obviously I'm bigging them up as well, the High Flats. Go and check them out, they've got 3 or 4 albums on Spotify, and they'd be ideal, and I think that they're played in fucking Edinburgh once. That's what I kept telling them, they need to get away from Glasgow and start playing other places, but aye, that would be grand if you got them on.
Yeah, we'll give them a look. Like that. We're just sort of taking suggestions for now. We don't know when we're going to decide, like to even announce the supports or whatnot. But yeah, man, we'll put them in the mix definitely.
I'd buy 4 tickets if the 2 years were playing. So last part of the podcast, it's called Time for Heroes. Obviously, the last question I asked my guest: you get 4 heroes to come for dinner. Who are they? Why are you picking them? And what are you cooking for them? They don't need to be musicians. They can be whoever you want. They can be family. They can be sports. They can be dead. They can be alive. They can be half dead.
Right. Okay.
I thought I told you this in the chat. I must have I sprung it on you.
No, you sprung it on me. Like you have sprung it on me. It shouldn't be that hard for me to 4 heroes. Right. Okay. Liam Gallagher, definitely. Oh God, Liam Gallagher, Kyle Falconer. Try to think. Serge Pizzorno, and who's my last one going to be? Try to think of other bands. Who have I said? What bands have I? Oh,
you said nearly every band.
Yeah, I have. Liam Frey.
Classic, man.
Yeah,
classic.
They'd be my 4. There's probably I could have 10 to be fair. It's just the 4 that I first thought of. And the meal would what is it? I'm making them dinner, am I?
Yeah.
Right. Okay. Well, I'm veggie, so I don't know if they'd be happy with what I'm cooking them like, but it'd be an absolute banger of pasta.
Right.
Aye, it'd be spicy arrabbiata sort of. But I'd put a wee bit of cream in it and mix it up. Plenty of veg in there. A wee bit of fake chicken.
Serge would be alright with that, with his Italian roots as well.
Aye, exactly. Definitely. I feel like Liam Gallagher would eat in, and Kyle.
Aye. I'd cause a fight about it as well, probably.
Aye, probably, aye.
But aye, absolute brilliant time, brilliant heroes. It's been a brilliant hour or so speaking to you, and as I say, drove all the way up from London just to see you. The best fucking 8-hour journey that I've ever done in a motor.
Appreciate that, man.
Coming to see you, supporting Kyle. And the hang about it as well, you were wearing a Streets t-shirt.
Yeah, man.
I've been to see the Streets a month before, so like I seen you with the Streets t-shirt.
What Streets gig were you at?
I was at the Barrowlands one.
Oh yeah, I was at the Corn Exchange one.
Right. Absolute brilliant gig that as well, wasn't it?
Class.
Were you wearing the guitarist jacket inside out? Because obviously you were right.
Yeah.
I was right down the front. That fucking jacket, I could see the label coming out, and that's
Aye.
Obviously you were talking about audience participation. Obviously I've had a long car journey up. I'm at this gig myself. For whatever reason, I'm right down the front, and John, the guitarist, at one point he's basically sitting on the barrier next to me playing the guitar, and I was a bit freaked out with it because I was like, and that was probably the tamest it got, because then obviously as we draw the line came out and the place went mental. Honestly, it's one of the most memorable gigs in my life. Obviously Aidan as well was wearing a Palestine Primal.
Yeah.
So that gets thumbs up as well. The bassist and the drummer, man, they're just tight as fuck as well. Brilliant band. As I say, you're in this top 5 up and coming bands for me. So I wish you every success with whatever he's going to achieve.
Thank you so much, man.
And obviously, I know you were coy, Liquid Drums, but I'll probably see you headlining the Barrowlands next year.
I could guarantee it.
Yeah, right. You heard it here first. Absolute pleasure. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, man.
Thanks again for listening to the podcast. If you'd like to get in touch, please contact me on the email timeforheroespod@gmail.com, or you can get me on Instagram at timeforheroespodcast. Thanks very much. We'll be back soon with another episode.